Good afternoon. This is John Marling, Pulse Research. Let's begin. Appreciate very much you taking the time out of, oh my gosh, it's already a new year and you're probably pretty busy catching up from the holidays to join our webinar this afternoon. But I've got some great news for you. Pulse has put together an exceptional array of new sales resources for you that we're going to go over this afternoon and show you how you can use them on a regular basis to help yourself achieve the goals that I'm sure each one of you want to accomplish in 2019, i.e. help those businesses in your community, but also make additional commissions for yourself. How does that sound? Here's what we're going to cover today with the Pulse new resources. Number one is we just completed a comprehensive survey of your audience, both your print and your digital audiences, to get that updated information about the significant opportunity that you guys represent for the business in your community in terms of getting new customers and getting new revenue for them. I'm also very proud to launch today with you Pulse Sales Tools. We spent a lot of time here at Pulse putting together updated resource for you that you can very, very quickly use these tools for each step of the sales process and getting new advertisers. In addition to that, because many of you are new, we put together videos for each one of the tools and each one of the sales steps. Talking to Chris McDonald the other day, he shared with me that you're targeting 8 specific categories: real estate, home related, grocery, etc. Share with you some ideas and suggestions on how to very effectively engage with those target categories. But first of all, let's focus, if we will, for a moment on what do the local businesses want and expect from you? It's very, very important because our success depends upon listening, learning, and relating to those local businesses' needs. And obviously, what the businesses want, and by the way, I was an ad rep once, what they want is really simple. What's in it for me? In other words, what's the benefit? What can you provide me in terms of additional customers and additional revenue for my business? And you've got a lot of businesses in your area that are hurting. They are looking to somebody like you to be that partner, that consultant, to help them identify, find solutions on how they can get additional business. And to be able to do that, Pulse asked the same questions of your Metroland audience. Once again, both print and digital. We asked the questions the businesses would ask. Do you plan to use a realtor? Do you plan to go to a new car dealership? What healthcare needs do you have? Why? Because this is what the businesses want. They're looking for somebody like you to be able to assist and help them find solutions, like a crystal ball, insights into how they can get more customers and revenue. And so how did we do that? We just asked your audience the questions the businesses we asked. We asked over 500 business categories. Do you plan to shop at a hardware store? Do you plan to shop at a paint store? Which of the following healthcare providers do you plan to use in the next 12 months? Once again, the questions they would ask. You plan to go to a pizza restaurant, okay? Just think for a second, for a moment. Doesn't it make sense that in your audience, there's a percentage of the population right now today, we're going to go to a new car dealership tonight? Exactly. All Pulse did in the survey of your audience is quantify. We asked them. We invited them with ads in the paper and links on the website to share with us their shopping plans for their household over the next 12 months. So we're able to quantify the percentage and ultimately the number of households you reach who are going to go to a new car dealership in the next 12 months. They took the survey online. Why? Because if I called any one of you up tonight and said, hey, you got about 45 minutes to take a survey, you were over the phone, guess what? Most of you would hang up. So we invited him with links on the website, ads in the paper, email invitation to take the survey. Here's the great news. We got over 3,600 completed surveys. Putting that in perspective, when they do political polling or top of mind across Canada, they use, in terms of a sample number of households they talk to, between 1,800 and 1,600. Norm's around 1,200. We've got over 3 times the accepted national sampling basis just of your audience alone. And by the way, this is a survey of your audience. It's not a market survey. By definition, we wanted to get shopping information and plans from your audience. Why? Because that's what the businesses want to know. What's in it for them? How many households do you reach? You're going to shop at my business category. How many households do you reach who are going to buy, interior paint, for instance? And here's even better news. Because the Toronto area is diverse, we have the information broken up in 10 zones. So each of your 10 zones, Halton, Hamilton, Niagara, Bradford, Peel, Kitchener, et cetera, each has their own unique shopping statistics. And this survey was just completed a few weeks ago. So it is fresh, and it's the information that the businesses want. And by the way, nobody else has this information. It's phenomenally valuable. And those of you who have used Pulse for, last couple of years, the information is extremely appreciated by the business. Why? Because it shows you care and you want to assist and help them find solutions in the shopping information to help them, once again, get new customers and new revenue. Additionally, in terms of updating the core research information, we've added some additional areas of information you're going to find extremely useful. So we added some competitive media questions. So for instance, you probably had somebody say to you, oh my gosh, we kind of like, Metroland, but we are advertising on the local radio station, so we don't need you. So we asked about the effectiveness of local radio ads. We asked previously, do you plan to use a dentist? Well, 69% said they plan to use a dentist. But we decided to make it more impactful, more motivating, more realistic by asking, do you plan to get a new or change dentist in the next 12 months? And I think you'd agree with me that that would be much more effective at getting the dentist's attention, showing them the number of households you reach who plan to get a new or change dentist or get a new or change lawyers, perhaps. Very, very motivating. So we added that, and you've got it in your new program. We also, because a lot of businesses use search, and they say, well, we get all our business from search, we made the search questions much more specific. We asked before about just search automotive categories. Now we asked their search use in the last 30 days by each of the automotive categories. New car dealership, used car dealership, tire business, auto repair, auto detailing, etc. So much more usable and effective for you. One of your 8 big categories that you're targeting is government. So we added questions about use of government services. Cannabis, obviously a big new opportunity in advertising. So in this survey we just completed, that's live right now for you, we have cannabis purchasing information. For whatever reason, we never asked about pizzas in your last survey. And so now you've got a lot of information about pizza restaurants. And I think you'll agree with me, there's a lot of pizza restaurants and advertising opportunity. So that's now available to you. One of the big categories is employment. And so we asked about your audience's employment plans. Why? Because you've got a lot of businesses in your local area who are desperately looking for qualified applicants. Now you've got the information to share with them about the opportunity that you can deliver for and fill in their employment needs. Taking a look here a little more detail, look at this here. Excuse me, I need to, oops. There we go. Look at this. So if somebody says to you, well, we advertise on radio, we don't need you, look at this. Of your audience, 58%, 58% said that they did not make any purchase from a radio ad in the last 30 days. So if that business says to you, well, I don't need to advertise in, my Metroland publication here, they're missing 58% of your opportunity. So if your audience is going to buy 1,000, tires, for instance, that means that they're missing 580 opportunities for tire purchasing. Big deal. Very, very motivating. Next area is the change or new. Look at this. I mentioned a moment ago about dentists. 40% of your audience plan to get a new or changed dentist next 12 months. 18% of your audience plan to get a new lawyer for a will or a trust. 13% plan to get a new or changed chiropractors. That's huge. Why? Because if you got 10,000 circulation, easy math here, that's 1,300 households you reach who plan to get a new or change chiropractors. Pretend for a moment you're a chiropractor. That grabs your attention, right? That gets your interest. And it's very effective, new and in your program right now today. We talked a moment ago about adding more detail, more specificity to search categories. Here's some examples I pulled together for you. Grocery store is a big category for you. 71% have not done a search for a grocery store in the last 30 days. Realtor, big category. 92% have not done a search. Automotive, new vehicle dealership, 87% have not done a search for a new vehicle dealership in the next, the last 30 days. How does this relate? It shows them the fragmentation, what they're missing of your audience that they could and should reach by adding a consistent schedule with you. Government services, one of your top 8 categories. Look at this, 64% of your audience would prefer a public notice be published in your newspaper. Only 8% published on the local government site. 29% of your audience would use a city or municipal service in the next 12 months. So you now got the information to really share with the government entities your ability to reach their opportunity, their audience. Cannabis, as I mentioned a moment ago, we now have the information that you can make and show to a cannabis business the opportunity that you can deliver for them. Pizza, huge. Look at this, 54% carry out pizza in the next 30 days, 44% dine at a pizza restaurant. You've got a lot of pizza businesses in your area. Now you can share with them the opportunity you can deliver for them. 22% of your audience plan to change or get a new job in the next 12 months. That's huge. Why? Because as I mentioned a moment ago, you got a lot of businesses who are very, very interested in and desperately want to get qualified applicants. And speaking of your audience, you've got a great, great upscale qualified audience. 28% earn over $100,000 per year, very well educated. 64% college degree or post-college education degree. 78% single family residents for all those business categories for the home, one of your top 8 again, and 79% own their own home. So that's an overview of the updated, Metroland Media shopping information. It's just completed. It's broken out into each of your 10 zones, and it's available right now to share with the businesses in your community. And they're going to say thank you. Why? Because it specifically addresses what's in it for them, what you can do for them in helping them get new customers and business. So moving along here, I am extremely proud to share with you the new Pulse sales tools. And the Pulse sales tools are just a very simple sales tool for each step of getting a new advertiser. And what do we mean by that? Well, let's just quickly visit the sales steps. Number 1 in the sales process is identifying prospects, right? Then after you've identified some good hot prospects, obviously getting the appointment or starting the conversation, with a cold call or a drop-in, correct? So starting the conversation. After you're starting the conversation with that business, you've got credibility. they realize you got information about and for their business, is finding a solution for that business, finding an opportunity for additional customers in that research information that they didn't even know were there. And that's the good news of this is it then gives you what to advertise for that business. Then the next step is business. Oh, this sounds great. Give me a proposal. Coming back with a consistent, and I would recommend 52-week, campaign proposal in a Metroland publication. Then we've got a sales tool. The next step is overcoming objections. You hear it all the time. Well, print is dead. I use social media, no budget. In the program is the ability to very effectively overcome these objections. And then the last step in the sales process is obviously closing. We put together a tool that involves the business so they can figure out how few customers they need to pay for the campaign. And it takes away the fear, it takes away the risk. It makes them extremely easy for them to say, yes, let's do this. So now what I'd like to do is go over each of those steps of the sales process and give you an example of each one of the sales tools. And then we're going to go on live in just a second and show you how extremely fast and easy it is to access and use each one of these new sales tools that are available right now at this moment for you. So let's begin with prospecting. We've got a couple prospecting tools for you. A brand new geo prospecting tool. And what's cool about that is you can zero right in to your sales area and identify businesses. And with a click, create either a teaser to get their attention, start the conversation, or a flyer to take out and engage with that business. So here's an example of the geo prospecting tool. And I'll show it to you live in just a second. But it gives you the ability, 8 o'clock in the morning, you're at your desk, go right into your territory and identify some prospects. In addition to that, you can do it right on your phone out in the field. Then the other prospecting tool we have for you is really unique, and it's very, very effective because it's based upon the actual close ratio, average sale, and sold rank for over 500 business categories. And that helps you identify some of those business categories you might have overlooked that represent and have a high, very, very high close success ratio with other ad reps just like you. After you've identified the prospects, we've got some teasers for you. What are teasers? It gives you the talking point, the what's in it for them, the big opportunity, if you will, to help you get that appointment over the phone, but also to help you get that conversation started out in the field. So you've got special sections coming up. You've got different packages, niche publications that you've got an information flyer for you, right? So as you see on the screen here, this is an example of the Pulse teaser. It's a wrap that you print and you wrap around that information piece you've got. And let's be blunt, that information piece is literally what's in it for you. It's got deadlines, it's got rates and stuff. The business glazes over. But putting a teaser wrap around that information piece, and look at this example here. Pretend for a minute you're an insurance agent and somebody comes to you and shows you this. There's almost 6,000 local households who plan to change or get a new insurance agent. Grabs your attention, right? Why? It's what's in it for you. But it also asks, would you like to talk directly and find out what other products and services they plan to buy, like automotive insurance, health insurance, home insurance, etc. And of course, you want to know more. So it's a great, great conversation starter. Next, we put together a one-page flyer that is used on a cold call or drop-in to engage with the business, to get that conversation started, obviously getting the business excited and engaged. Why? Because look at the example right here. We'll create one in just a second to help you find solutions to get new customers. Pulse asks the questions, that you would ask. And that's all we did in the survey again, is we just asked what they would ask. So a jewelry store would ask, you plan to shop at a jewelry store, right? We asked that. And look at that. There's 5,400 households in this example flyer who are going to shop at a jewelry store. If you're a jewelry store, that's compelling. It's mouth-watering. 5,400 jewelry store opportunity customers. But then take it a next step further. Businesses want solutions. Where can you get more? Here's what our audience is going to buy for the products and services of a jewelry store: wedding rings, necklaces, earrings, diamond jewelry, etc. Where can you get more? But the reality also is, and many times you go into business, there's that gatekeeper. You can't get to the decision maker. So the flyer is designed to fold into thirds, put into a plain envelope, write the business decision maker's name on it, give it to the gatekeeper to give to the business person. Very, very effective. Why? Business person opens the envelope, they say, my gosh, they immediately understand what's in it for them, right? And they call back. They want to know more. Or when you call back and say, hi, I'm John Marling from Metroland. Oh, I remember seeing about you, 5,400. It's amazing they remember the big number. So that's the flyer. It's designed to help you get the conversation started. Then step 3, and I alluded to it a moment ago on the flyer, is with the information about and for their business, helping them identify a solution. How does that work? Well, ask them, you know what you've sold. Here's the opportunity. Where can you get more? And they go, oh my gosh, I can get more necklaces. There's almost 5,000 households are going to buy a necklace. So step 3 in the sales process, finding a solution, needs analysis. You got the information. It's timely, it's fresh, and the businesses love it because it helps them identify a solution. Heck, about 3-4 weeks ago, I went into an HGVAC business. He says, oh, we're too busy. We got all the business we need. And I said, well, let's take a look at the information. Let's find a solution for you. We asked the same questions you would ask. And in that flyer, there was repair furnish. And he took a look at the number. And he says, my gosh, I didn't realize there was such an opportunity for furnace repair. Let's start advertising furnace repair. It's very, very effective. The next step is the presentation. Businesses, with the flyer or the teaser, come back with a consistent, I want to see a proposal, right? And so you've now got a new flyer, much simpler. It's designed to be more conversational, showing just very, very clearly what's in it for the business. In this example, 12,500 opportunities for a tire store grabs their attention, reinforcing where can you get more business, a solution. But look at here. It shows them how few customers they need. Very clear, very easy to understand. In this example, you only need 3 per month to pay for a consistent 52-week program. It takes away the fear. And then in addition to that, your goal is to make them money, the return on investment, right? We've redone that to make it easier, more understandable. All they need is just 77 customers in this example over 52 weeks. And then the next step in the sales process is overcoming objections. Well, frankly, most of the objections you get here, well, we use radio, we use email, direct mail, etc., or we got Google search. Now you can show them what they're missing, which is step 5, overcoming objections. So I just put on the example here, 60% have not made a purchase from a local radio ad in the last 30 days. And if they say, well, we use email program, look at that, 77% have not used. In addition to that, for those businesses to say, well, print is dead, look at this, 97% read the print ads. Huge, huge. Number 1 readership, by the way. And then the last step in the sales process is closing. But in this case, partnering, involving the business with their input for them to figure out for themselves, by themselves, what's comfortable for them, taking away the fear. And I'll show it live in just a second, the new break-even calculator. So that's an overview of the sales tools for each step. Now let's go live here And I'll show you how easy it is. So when you log into your new Pulse program, you will get the Pulse sales tools very clearly displayed. Prospecting, engagement, needs analysis. If it doesn't display right away, it's because of caching. Just click here to refresh your page. So refresh your browser window, okay? So now let's take a look at the sales tools. These are live, ready to go right now. Prospecting, number one, let's find some leads. So let's click on the mapping program. So you click here on mapping, and up will come a map, and all you have to do is put in a specific area, like Hamilton, right? Or you can put in a postal code, or you can even put in a shopping center. And up comes a map of your area. Then you can zoom right in, as I'm doing right here, okay? And you can come right in and zoom down and pick a particular business. So instead of just driving around figuring out, where are some leads, we've got this new geo prospecting tool. How does it work? Once you've identified a business like Canadian Tire here, you just click on the business. Up comes a little dialog box. Then all you have to do to create a teaser, to start the conversation, is click here on teaser. You also might notice there's a link to create a flyer that you saw, or the one-page presentation that you saw a minute ago. Or you could go right to that break-even calculator. You can also create an account for that business. But let's start the conversation. So let's click on teaser. So now we need to tell the program what type of business this is. And Canadian Tire, my gosh, it covers everything. But they sell tires. Okay, so we put in tire, click on tire store. And now we've created 3 different types of teasers to start the conversation, start engaging. And by the way, you can edit the teasers with a drop-down list here. So in each of your individual zones, you've got a list of your publications. So I'm clicking here on Peterborough this week. Now to do a teaser cover, a wrap to put around that information piece, you just click on print the wrap cover, and look at this. You're clearly showing them what's in it for them. Almost 11,000 households who plan to shop at a tire store. That gets their attention. Would you like to know more about what they plan to buy? So information not only about tire purchasing, by the way, but in your program now you've got information about appliance purchasing, clothing purchasing, a recreation purchasing, all the things that Canadian Tire sells. But just print this. We would suggest a colored stock, by the way, and just wrap it around that information piece. Now, a couple other suggestions on how to use the teaser is just pick up the phone. And that was at your sister publication in Vancouver. And we were making some calls to realtors and sharing with them how many opportunities there were for a realtor. And the person says, stop. The guy says, what do you mean stop? And he says, I want to see you right now. That's how interested they are. A lot of times we forget this is information they want and they're appreciative of. But here are the words to say. Pick up the phone. Of the 45,702 households, we reach with Peterborough this week, there's almost 11,000 households who plan to shop at a tire store. Would you like to know what they plan to buy? And so it gives you the words to say in setting up a phone appointment. The other option with the teaser is sending an email. We recommend either in person, or calling on the phone. But if it's out of town, copy and paste the text here to put into your email. But once again, it's focusing on the big number, what's in it for them. So the teaser program is once again designed to start the conversation. And how did we access the teaser? We did it through the prospecting tool. So let me go back here because now I want to show you, and I need to type it back in because unfortunately I zoomed back and forward. When you log in, by the way, and you're on the page for more than 2 seconds, it'll save where you were. So it makes it much simpler for you to come back in and do a presentation. So let me go back here. I saw a business I thought would be pretty cool to make a presentation. And that was a furniture store. Well, let's go to L&A Auto Sales. It's one of your top categories. We click on L&A Auto Sales, but you get the idea. This map is for you, and you can zero right in to the specific streets that you would like. Now let's create a flyer, another option for you, one of your Pulse tools to start the conversation, engage with the business. For a lot of you who are new, it's tough to figure out, well, who do you, how do you start the conversation? It's awkward. So here with L&A, used vehicle dealership, we just put in, for the program, the type of business, and look at that. With one click, you've got a incredible one-piece handout to engage with the business, to help you find solutions to get new customers. Plan to shop at a used vehicle dealership. Look at that, over 6,000 households. Let's find a solution together. I think you'll agree with me. Simple, clean, but very, very conversational and engaging with the business in what they want. What's in it for me? Opportunities in this example, in this flyer, for a used vehicle dealership, but also starting the next step of the sales process, needs analysis, finding a solution. But heck, in the real world, a lot of times you can't get through the gatekeeper, particularly like with a legal office, medical facility like a dentist. So the flyer is designed, when you print it, it says, would you like to know more? And so our suggestion at Pulse is to fold the flyer into thirds, put it into a plain envelope, not a Metroland envelope, put the decisions maker name on it, and give it to the gatekeeper. That is phenomenally effective. Why? Because she feels obligated to give it to the gatekeeper, right? Gatekeeper reads it, says, oh my gosh, gets their attention. They either call, or when you call back, they remember the big number, the 6,000 households, who are going to shop at a used vehicle dealership. So that's an example of the flyer. Very easy to create. I did it through the I did it through the geo-prospecting program. The other prospecting tool is the what's sold, the results in real time from hundreds of other ad reps across North America. They're using the program to create presentations for the over 500 business categories, and they're putting in what happened. So the program automatically records that a presentation was created, for instance, for a new vehicle dealership. They put in what happened. They sold it. So we track the close ratio, the average sale, and the sold rank. But what's really cool about this is you click on sold rank here, and it gives you the business categories across North America that have the highest number of sales. And there's some nice surprises in here, like financial advisor. Look at that. Number 8 out of 500 business categories. Dentist, number 9 out of 500. Legal, number 10. And you've got a lot of financial advisors, dentists, and legal firms in your territory. So all you do right here is you just click on Find. You've identified the business category. You click on Find, and it brings up a map. In this case of attorneys, it brings up a list. You click here, and then you can click on Flyer. As simple as that. Now you've created a flyer. So that's another way of prospecting and getting to and creating a flyer conversation starter. Extremely fast and very, very easy. Now, the next step in the process is, after you've started the conversation, you've worked with them to identify, well, where can you get more with the flyer? Well, I can get more furnace repair. Oh my gosh, I can get more wedding rings. Give me a proposal. So the next step is creating a proposal. So you click there on your home page. You can choose a business here, or you could have done it from the geo-prospecting tool if you would. But let's create a presentation here for Mills Hardware. So we select the audience. We can then select a package, or we can put in a package. And I would recommend a 52-week package, and I'm just going to call this I'll call it the VIP Gold Program. How's that sound? And it's a $12,000 campaign for 52 weeks, print and digital. It's got my customer value. We're going to keep that as, because I'm going to show you in the closing tool, how you can very easily, get their involvement and what's their customer worth and their gross profit. So that's just a holding number. Then let's select what the hardware store would like to know. Probably want to know about power tools, right? Lumber, okay? And we got a search tool here, by the way. Maybe he wants to know about hot tubs. So you type in hot tubs. So everything in the program you can now search. So put in new hot tubs. Okay, so what we're doing now is just doing the setup steps to do a one-page presentation. And let's say that last time you're there, he said use radio, Facebook, use Kijiji, okay, and email. And that's some of the excuses for not using you. And let's show them what the return on investment is. Really easy to do, by the way. You just click here, and we got a $12,000 proposal. So what's a 5-time return? What's 5 times 12,000? 60,000, right? So we just type in 60,000. You see there, it's a 5-time return. We want to show them about the ad readership, okay? And now we just click on Save Presentation. And there is your new one-page presentation. Can you edit it after you create it? Absolutely. So you just click here. You can change the audience. You can click here. And by the way, let's pretend for a moment we're with the business, and you can get their involvement and participation. No other media rep can do that, by the way. And so you're there with the business, this hardware store, and you ask them, well, what's important to you? And so we go down here, we scroll here, and let's do some home products. We click on home products, okay? And the guy says, oh my gosh, I sell a lot of firewood. I've got, this new flooring tile. But you get the idea. It helps the business engage and help you find out what's important for them. So after you've done that with the business, just click on finish, and it updates the let's find a solution for you of the one page. And then built right into one page shows them how few customers they need to pay for the campaign. So in our setup, we did, 12,000, as a campaign. And in the program, it figures out, how few customers they need on a monthly basis to pay for the campaign. But let's get their participation and involvement. Campaign 12,000. What's a customer worth to you? And they say, well, a customer worth to me about 1,500. What's your gross profit? 65%. So customer's worth 525. Look at that. They only need, one customer a month to pay for the campaign. So also in your new, easier, simpler one page, shows them how few customers they need for a 5-time return on their investment. Very, very simple. They only need 40 new customers. That's less than for a month to get a 5-time return on investment. And then we spoke a moment ago about showing them what they're missing because of the fragmentation of other media. They're missing out. Huge motivator. And if you're there in person, once again on your tablet, you can engage the business. They say, well, I want to know about other. And let's say they might want to know about Twitter, for instance. They want to know about TorontoClassifieds.com, WagJack, etc. We've got it all there for you, and it's been updated, brand new information for you. So that's an overview of the one-page presentation. You're presenting a consistent campaign, and it's showing them how few customers they need for the campaign. But now let's go to the last step, and that's the closing tool. So you can access the closing tool from your home page. Just click here on closing, involve the advertiser. And once again, you put in, what's the campaign cost? And let's say this time it's $18,000, okay? And by the way, if you went into them and said, hey, you want to spend $18,000, many of them would probably say no, right? And so we're at a furniture store. Well, what's a customer worth? So if you got a new household customer, about $1,250. What's your cost of goods sold? Because you obviously got to pay for the furniture. Let's say 65%. So they make $437 per customer, right? So they just calculate out based upon their customer value, their gross profit percent. They only need 42 customers. That's just a little over 3 per month. But here's something that's really, really cool and effective. Many times the business, well, I don't know. You see the hesitancy, right? I have learned and highly recommend just ask them, what is the worst case scenario? What is the absolute fewest number of customers you'd get with a consistent print and digital campaign over the next 52 weeks? What's the worst case? The guy says, well, I think the absolute worst case would be, and you click on the thumbs down here, I think the worst case would be 36 customers. 36 customers, 3 a month. Well, look at that. 36 customers at $437.50. Their net value per customer is a consistent campaign for the next 52 weeks of $15,750. And what I say is, sir, just 36 customers, your worst case scenario, at $437 is $15,700 campaign. Sound good? Guy says, yeah, let's do it. Extremely effective in closing. So the break-even calculator you can access from your phone on your front page here. And by the way, on your Apple phone or on an Android phone, you can save the link to your Pulse program and put it right on your phone screen. So just you click on your phone screen and boom, up comes the page you see here. The other thing that we've added for you, and it's brand new, is the Connect Basic Training. We have put together a video, and you just click right here, and there's a video, about a minute for each one of the sales steps. So geo-prospecting, about a 50-second video on how to use it. The hot prospecting tool, starting the conversation with a cold call flyer, a needs analysis overview, the presentation, the one page, overcoming objections, and using the closing tool. So just a click away is a link to a short video on each one of the sales tools. And going back to the program here, if I might, so back here. As I mentioned a moment ago, you've got 8 target categories. What Pulse has for you is the ability to project, and this is pretty awesome, the spending opportunity for each one of these categories. And I put together an example here for you for automotive. And this is in Peterborough again. And look at this, just with Peterborough this week. And you're able to do this for each one of your publications or groups of publication in the automotive categories with a fresh research for these automotive business categories: new vehicle dealership, used vehicle dealership, auto repair, tire store, etc. Look at this, almost $700 million in opportunity. Just for new car dealership, $226.9 million. How'd we get that? From the fresh research, 13.9% of the Peterborough audience is going to shop at a new car dealership the next month. That's 6,370 households times an average new vehicle dealership purchase of $35,625 is $226 million. Used cars, $117 million. Tire store, over $8.5 million. In total, almost $700 million. And so from this here, you can just click on, new vehicle dealerships, boom, and it comes right up to a map, and you can create a presentation for new vehicle dealerships. How did I put this together? It's really actually pretty easy. These are your 8 audience targets, 8 business categories: real estate, automotive, home, grocery, etc. But in your Pulse program, and let's take a look here, you got the purchasing projection for each one of those business groupings. So we're into hot prospects again. You click on prospects. You come down here to what's selling. You click on reader buying power. And then from there, all you have to do, and it's really, really simple, is just select, your publication, or you can put in your group of publications, okay? And you just click here, like let's do Perth Courier. You click on Perth Courier to show the businesses the opportunity. You click here on section, and it's going to arrange by the sections, the type of businesses. So specialty food is one of your big categories. And let me minimize this if I might, so you can see the total spending. And look at that. Oops, kind of hard to read now. Sorry, went a bit too far. Yeah, there we go. But look at this for a bakery, over $2 million just for a bakery. For a wine shop, 762,000, cheese shop, 449,000. This gets the attention of the businesses. So for these business categories, let me scroll down here for a moment if I might. So you got recreation business categories, real estate's a big category for you. All I did for that automotive a moment ago was I just did this. I just cut and pasted and put it into an Excel spreadsheet. That's all I did. So I went to the Pulse Reader Buying Power. I clicked on section, and then I came down here for automotive, and I just highlighted automotive, okay? And I just saved it, and I put it into Excel spreadsheet. But while we're at it, look at this. This gives you a great, great opportunity to really share and get some eyes open. Well, print is dead. $57 million in your Perth paper in new vehicle dealership purchasing, big opportunity, right? And so in wrap up, Pulse has some suggestions. I was an ad rep once. Remember, I started out by saying in 2019, one of your goals is to obviously help the businesses, but also help yourself. Make more commissions, big opportunity. I recommend using these tools each week. Find 25 prospects, just 25, with the geo prospecting tool or the hot prospect tool, and from there, then just 3 a day. Conversation starters, the teaser or the flyer, either calling up on the phone to getting the appointment or printing some teaser wraps to put around a piece you're already taking out for a special section perhaps, or taking out the flyer and doing cold calls, engaging with the business. And then it's pretty easy, based on experience and feedback from other clients. 15 conversation starters with the teaser or the flyer will get you 5 presentations, okay? 5 presentations a week, pretty doable and realistic. And then with that new closing tool, getting just a 20% close ratio. I've experienced much higher than 20%. Why? Because in that closing tool, they for themselves take away the fear. It's their involvement and participation. They figure out how few customers they need. So that's my recommendation. It will be extremely beneficial for each one of you putting more money in your pocket each month. In closing, I want to say thank you so much on behalf of the Pulse team to have the opportunity to support you with these new tools and resources in 2019. The brand new research with extended, questions. Number 2 is the Pulse sales tool, the training videos, the ability to zero in on each one of your business target categories. And then our recommendation, just consistently prospecting, following through. You will find it very, very successful and effective. Any suggestions, feedback, questions, happy to answer. Marling at pulseresearch.com. The Pulse team is anxious to assist and help you. Just send an email to support@pulseresearch.com Or in the upper right of your ad seller program is a help button. And you can access not only videos and training there also, but send us a communication. So thank you very, very much for the opportunity to deliver for you in 2019. Thanks again.